another episode of Beer for Breakfast ABV. I am Danielle from Mornings on 91X. As always, I have my beer drinking partner in crime with me, Paul Segura.
What's up?
And today we have Eppig Brewing in. We've got Clayton, head brewer as well as owner. We've got Abby, sales manager. Welcome, guys. Before we dive into the beers, I just want to let you know that we have Beer for Breakfast merchandise now. You can find this in the 91X merch store. We've got growlers, we've got pint glasses, we've got koozies, we've got all kinds of great stuff in there. So rock out with your Beer for Breakfast gear. First beer we're starting, the special Japanese style lager. It's a dry lager. Clayton, tell me all about it.
All right, let's cheers.
Cheers.
Yes. Oh, cheers to Stephanie Eppig, by the way, who did the New York Marathon. I want to get that out there. You are amazing.
Yeah,
job, Steph.
Dude, you
Nice
killed
job.
it.
And congrats on your anniversary.
Coming up this weekend.
There you go.
3 years. We made it. Can't
Did
make
it.
it 4 years until you make it 3. So we're going to start there.
1 year at a time.
Yeah, both Saturday and Sunday we're going to have people over at the new place up in Vista. So we're going to have $5 beers all weekend. It should be a really good time. You can get this beer there. Our special lager, Japanese dry lager. When we were getting out of the gate about 3 years ago after we left our old jobs, a few people had kind of beaten us to the punch with a Mexican lager. AleSmith had one. I don't know if Carl had one, but Thorn had one, Barrio.
Yeah.
And it was like, we wanted to do something that was regionally appropriate, but we felt like, you know, some of our friends had kind of beat us to the punch on that, so we went the other direction. There is a large Asian population in San Diego, and I was like, I eat all kinds of that food, and I was like, we can make a beer better than the Sapporos or Kirins or Asahi Ichibans that are out there. So Nate put together a little recipe with a little rice in this.
Yeah.
Not so much to make it cheaper, but to promote that touch of sweetness you get from the rice flavor.
Yeah.
We use a little American hop, so you kind of get like a lemon blossomy note at the finish. And it came out really, really enjoyable. It goes really good with food. You know,
This
fish,
has more
Asian.
flavor than your typical Japanese, and it's, you know what? It's way fresher.
Yeah, well, yes.
I mean, I could see drinking this with some, I don't know, a sturdy white fish.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
Or
it's
some
great.
sushi, perhaps.
Pairs
Man.
well with sushi, can confirm.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of my favorite parts about doing craft beer is taking those beers that maybe we grew up on and saying, hey, we can make choices to make this a better beer than these guys with zillions of dollars. They choose not to.
Right.
So that's what we try to do with this.
You
So craft
did a
brewing's
great
about.
job.
Yeah.
Same thing with people have done with Mexican lagers, right? Okay, we really want to make like an especial, but with a little more flavor.
Yep.
And you guys have done it, man. This is a great beer.
Yeah, I love it.
So we gotta crush so we can move on.
Yeah.
Danielle's already like-
I don't know what takes you guys so long. We are 3 years of Eppig Brewing. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One of the exciting things for me is I remember when you guys came on Beer for Breakfast the first time
Yes.
around. Brand new brewery that just opened up in North Park, right there on 30th.
You guys were just babies, man.
Right, like, you know, just as part of the, part of the Igniter.
Yep.
Kind of, can you walk me through how we've gotten to the big production facility that's opening, grand opening this weekend?
That's right, this weekend. We were working for another brewery. Nathan and I left after we met Stephanie, who had that wonderful history with the Eppig family of moving from Germany to Brooklyn and having breweries for 70 years. Sounded really intriguing to us.
1866.
That's right,
Yep.
established in Brooklyn, and we were able. There wasn't a way we were going to be able to build a big brewery by ourselves. We're brewers. We don't come from a lot of dough, but the Brew Igniter facility allowed them to assess us and say, hey, those guys come from, they're the real deal. Let's give them this opportunity, and you pay for it. You pay a hefty price, but at the same time, it got us in that door as brewery number 130 instead of 170 or whatever, like a year earlier, and we were able to get in there, get rolling, and within a year we had the second taste room down on the water in Point Loma.
Which is beautiful.
You should definitely check it out. It's the best view in town.
Super good, yeah.
100%.
And that really, having those two things and being able to sell some beer to our friends in San Diego enabled us to move forward with this project in Vista. We looked all over the county. Vista was where we ended up because it was the tall building with the space that we needed, and the deal went through. So yeah.
Well,
so,
congratulations to
cheers.
that.
What a nice way to
It's
celebrate your third
so
anniversary.
great.
Absolutely.
It's a neat thing that we're able to coordinate our third anniversary on the exact same day as our grand opening of our new facility. So it's a nice way to kind of pay tribute to North Park while celebrating kind of this new chapter. So
Did I also see that you're taking some of the pieces of North Park and putting it up in Vista? Did I see that on social media?
you
Absolutely.
did. Yeah, we so the original the walls we have in North Park are actually from a barn from 1866,
From
right?
the same
Wow.
year.
Yeah, from the same year the
coincidentally,
brewery was founded.
the wood guy was like, I got this oak barn wood, and it was from the same year. I was like, that is meant to be, so we have to take it with us wherever we go.
That was the universe kind of.
So yeah, so it's now on. The setup in Vista is when you're sitting at the tasting room, big windows so you can see right through to the brew house and the cellar, and kind of be part of the experience without unsafe. You know, it's kind of a good setup. You can look at it without needing to worry about closed-toed shoes and protective eyewear, etc.
Yep.
So the wood we put on that wall surrounding those windows. So
Oh,
it's
very
a really nice
cool.
tribute to
Warm.
North Park. Yeah.
Comforting.
Yeah. So this is the 3rd anniversary blonde. Why a blonde?
You know, we went a different direction with this.
Let's have more fun.
It's not a style that we had typically made. We do a lot of German traditional stuff. We wanted to do American blonde, light, simple. Paul's favorite word, crushable.
100%.
That
Or
mid
gillable.
Yeah, the gillable, the mid 5%, a little bit of a spin. There's no dry hop on this, but we did do a touch of mosaic in that whirlpool. So it's very light. It's meant to be crisp and dry. For us, we leaned it towards the lager end of an ale. It was cooler fermented than average, so it's crisp and dry, which is terms we like to use to describe a lot of our beers, because those are the beers I want to sit in a beer garden on the water and drink all day.
Yes.
Well, and
It's
Nate,
got a hint of fruitiness.
yeah,
on
a
the
little
finish
touch
from
there,
that.
I think,
Yeah.
from the
from the yeast,
mosaic.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think Nate really put it best. Nate's our principal brewer and another one of our owners. That this beer is the epitome of what Eppig is. It's got that bone dry finish. It's clear as day. I mean, it's all the things that kind of we stand for beer wise in one package. So it was important to us
That's
to put
a
out
bold statement. So you guys, I mean, your Oktoberfest this year was one of the best, if not the best, I've had. Especially, I mean,
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate
Totally.
that very much.
and I go back with Oktoberfest, and you guys nailed it. So for him
you.
to say that,
It's saying something. I mean,
it's
it really
saying
is.
something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and I
totally.
think the great thing about this beer is whether, you're one of those people who isn't into bitter IPAs, perfect for you. Or if you're like me, loves the bitter IPA, this is fantastic. This is just a great, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to sip on this, and I'm not going to get totally schwasty pants.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's in
wait,
a
what?
very sessionable
Schwasty
5.3.
pants.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like the big IPAs, but after work, I'm gonna have one or two. I mean, we all have to get home
Yep.
and whatnot, and then I'm gonna downshift to something like the Japanese dry lager, to the 3rd anniversary blonde ale. Maybe even our Zwickel beer, if you ever have a chance to come by the
Zwickel's
tasting room. That's not a style you see every day, but those lower ABV kind of lighter and refreshing beers are the ones you can sustain with or session with, right?
Had the Zwickel beer at Fathom recently.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
very tasty
Fantastic,
as well.
fantastic.
And that's a great venue to enjoy some of your guys' beers.
Thank you. That's actually one of the first batches to come out of the new facility.
That's right.
So we're really excited. The beer coming out of the new facility's cranking, doing exactly what we want it to do, and we're really happy that there hasn't been an adjustment period. Oftentimes you hear about the kind of an adjustment period when you scale up, and we're crushing it with our crushable beers.
I remember the first taste off that Zwickel, and I was like, oh, please, please. And you forget, we know what we're doing, but you just don't know until you know. And then you try
Right.
it, and you're like, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
all
can
right.
breathe
There
again.
she is.
So
There's our friend.
For the uninitiated, should we explain what a Zwickel beer is?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Zwickel's a young lager. It typically has haze in it. It can come from yeast being in suspension. It's the only hazy thing we make. That's just kind of our shtick. But it is the oldest style of hazy beer that's out there. That may be perhaps in Hefeweizen. I'm not sure the exact dates on that. But on the side of a tank, there's a little faucet. And you unscrew it, and it can fill your glass, and that is a Zwickel. A lot of terms in brewing are German terms, and a Zwickel is where you take the sample from. And in Germany, the brewers would know that beer is finished. It's fully fermented out, but you can drink it. It just hasn't clarified like this has. No filter, baby.
So I've got my feelings on how it originated. I think all brewers everywhere would like everybody out there to be able to taste the beer the way we taste it,
Yes.
right off
Yep,
the bright
right.
tank, super fresh,
As fresh,
unfiltered,
yeah.
so it hasn't stripped any flavors out. It's
Yep.
just beautiful,
Yeah.
young
Visit a
Pilsner.
brewery. Ask for a tour. See if you can taste off the tank.
There you go.
I'm happy to share with you if I'm giving you a tour.
So that's them sharing that flavor with everybody else of Zwickle. How wonderful it
The
is.
purest form we intend it to be, which is
It's like
truly
chocolate chip
special.
cookies right out of the
Yep,
oven.
exactly.
So before we move on to the last beer, which is my favorite beer, I would be remiss / you guys would hear if you don't go over everything that's happening at the 3rd anniversary this weekend.
Yes, yes.
What is happening for the 3rd anniversary this weekend?
All the things. So we are doing a bus from our North Park location up to Vista.
What?
Yep. Yep,
Wow.
we wanted to.
Hold the phone, hold the phone, hold the phone.
Yeah.
So I don't have to figure out an Uber or a rideshare to get up to Vista.
You just have to figure out your rideshare or walk over to North Park.
Easy peasy.
You need to double check. We have it on our website and on our socials. Double check and make sure there are still seats available. It's $15 round trip. We take you up there. You get to enjoy $5 beers while you're there. We had Steins commissioned from Germany that will be available.
Steins.
Special, yeah, to commemorate the grand opening.
So people can drink this beer out of a Moss Krug.
Yep,
Yeah.
for $5.
That's crazy.
Yep. We're gonna be living our best lives this
Oh,
weekend.
yes. Is the bus both Saturday and Sunday?
It is just Saturday.
Just Saturday. Okay, okay.
We will be offering the same kind of beer deals, assuming we don't sell all the Steins on Saturday. They will be for sale again on Sunday. This guy is a hoarder, as it turns out. So we've been squirreling away beer. So we've got some specialty tappings we'll be doing throughout the weekend.
Nice.
Can confirm, just tried one of them over the weekend. It was delicious.
Can we throw a teaser out there?
It might be dark.
Oh.
It might be sour.
Oh.
It might be from North Park from over a year ago, and it's been sitting in the dark corners of the cold box.
I give him.
I think it's going to sit in the dark corner of my mouth very soon. Or my stomach.
It's called Moment of Weakness, and it's coming for you.
Yes.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
It is. It's fantastic. So we're really excited to kind of show off our new baby and everything we've been working really hard on. Steph and Todd and Clayton and Nate have really put everything into every detail of the new facility. So, you know, on their side, the brew house is just absolutely incredible. The drains are where you want them to be. The floors are slanted the way you want them to be. The cold box is huge.
That's
like
huge.
all that, which you know is a really huge thing. And then on the tasting room side, you know, it pays tribute to the original Brooklyn brewery. It's no detail left unfinished or not attended to pay tribute to the original facility. There's a beautiful patio, fire pit. We've got lounge, bar seats, tables. I mean, it's kind of a great
Well-planned
experience.
breweries lead to happy brewers. Happy brewers make good beer.
Exactly,
man. You
exactly.
You guys are going to snowball from here.
Paul, you dig it the most when you come to see that cellar. For those of you who are into beer, our tanks are a certain space apart so we can do work between them. The ports are a certain height, so I don't have to bend over all the way. I mean, we were able to make really nice choices for this brewery, which for the foreseeable future is, I mean, it's my forever brewery, as far as I'm concerned.
The ceilings are tall enough. We can put in 120 barrel fermenters if we want.
If
Very
it were to
nice.
come to that, you know.
Big
very
beer
excited.
nerd talk.
Yeah, sorry.
And I just lost everyone.
I don't know what that means.
24 taps. 24 taps.
Just to, and you may or may not have an answer for this. How much longer do we still have the North Park facility?
We're going to take it all the way through November. We're going to go through
Okay.
Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Thanksgiving actually ends on, or the weekend ends on December 1st is a Sunday. We're going to go all the way through. There'll be some beer specials. We'll have people in there. Hopefully some food too. Definitely like keep the glass cut type events to celebrate all our friends in North Park. And then we'll close that down and share it with whoever the next brewery is going to be. And you know, maybe hopefully we can find a new location somewhere in the area because that's what
Here's
we're
hoping.
yeah.
As a North Park resident and as someone who worked in a tasting room in North Park, Eppig was one of the places that was always at the top of the list of where
thank you.
should I go off of
Appreciate
30th
that.
Street. Finishing things off, this is my favorite Eppig beer. I love this beer. The 1045 to Denver IPA.
Oh baby.
10:45 to Denver. I think I've been on that flight a couple times.
It's a plane, it's a train, it's a story with an inside joke. It's
a taxi ride.
it's all those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
But you know, we like to make those beers that have those descriptors of clean and dry, and an IPA is an inherently like imbalanced beer by being on the bitter end. But we try to make it still approachable. I like to think that I can have 2 of these, maybe 3, and without it just totally devastating my palate. Mosaic and Cascade hops, definitely Mosaic's is the David Lee Roth here, but it needs some balance. You know, he's not great on the solo tour. You need a little Eddie Van Halen.
He needs Eddie in there
Yeah,
just
you need
to
to
just
get that
to,
balance,
right? I mean,
right?
he's solid front man, but he can't hold it down by
Right.
himself.
And so I think if you are honest with yourself and you blend those things together, you end up with a better product. You know, they're stronger together than they are apart, like
Yeah.
any good team.
All right, so there's also a solid drummer in this beer in the malt, right?
There is a touch of color. We didn't go straight straw.
I get some good maltiness, some sturdy maltiness, some bready notes, biscuit-like notes out of this.
We like to not overdo it with too many ingredients, but I mean, 3, 4, anything over that, too many, 3 or 4 malts is like just too many. But with a nice balance in here, you get some breadiness, so it tastes like beer. This is our homage to the West Coast IPAs that made Nate and I fall in love with beer.
And you guys did a really good
Yes.
job at it.
There are certain people in the room who are responsible for some of those beers. I'm not going to point any fingers. I'm going to point all the
gonna do
fingers.
it.
So
I didn't do anything.
when back
So
when,
modest.
Who, me?
So modest.
but back during Beer Week, I got to hang out with some of my most favorite brewers out at Fathom for fishing with the brewers, and I just was looking around at Colby and Paul. And, I mean, just the guy from Big Sky's there, the Bear Republic guys are there. And in some sense, this beer is like the modern interpretation of those beers that we loved when in
You're bringing
2005.
sexy back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just it's
By the
round-
way,
it's
cheers to
rounded.
Dennis Borlick for
Yes,
having the brewers
for-
out of there. That was really cool.
And it really, cheers to the guild. Cheers
Yeah,
to
cheers,
all of the
brother.
breweries that participated in San Diego Beer Week. It was such a great week. I mean, I'm still trying to sober up from
I'm
the
still
week.
licking my wounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still in a fog.
I feel great. I feel great.
Clayton, Abby, thank you guys so much. Nate, Todd, Stephanie, congratulations. 3 years of Eppig Brewing.
Keep going. This is you're just getting started.
Oh gosh, and I can only imagine what is going to come out of that big, beautiful facility, and I'm stoked to see the future for you guys.
Awesome.
Baby.
Thank you.
you so much for having us.
So remember, this weekend is the grand opening of Vista as well as their anniversary. So get up there, check to see if the bus is still available to go from North Park up
That's
to
the
Vista.
ticket.
And remember, Friday morning, Paul is going to come on and do beer for breakfast with Marty
Straight
and
up.
I. We'll be drinking some Eppig beers. It's going to be a great day. Thank you so much, and cheers to independently owned craft beer and radio.
Cheers.
Yee-hee.
91X.